I got a call from Tony, who was about to leave the band, Sabbath. Sabbath was going to disband as a band, which didn't necessarily mean that Geezer and Tony weren't going to play together again, or that Tony and Bill wouldn't have been in that band. But we talked just one-on-one, and he told me what was going to happen, and I had just left the band that I was in at the time. So we talked very energetically about what we thought we were going to do and that we might like to do something together. I was invited out into the makeshift studio, and we went out, and as musicians do, we turned up all the amplifiers and bang, and got in front of the microphone, and we wrote a song that night, which turned out to be one of the songs from the album that I subsequently did on Heaven and Hell.
You see the writing in the air. Die young, gonna die young. Someone stopped the fair.
Die Young, a song that was written in Miami where we were recording the Heaven and Hell LP. And just a collaboration between Tony and myself in one of the bedrooms with a guitar and a germ of an idea, and just took it to fruition. Just did it the same as we do most songs. The idea starts with a small idea and grows into a full concept. Neon Nights, which was the final track that we recorded for Heaven and Hell, was done in Paris. The song began in Geezer's house when he lived just outside of Birmingham, a place called Clouds Top. And it was just, wow, we've got to write another song, lads. Oh, okay, fast one, slow one, fast one. Okay, whew, that was good, made that decision, let's have a drink. Went down to the pub and we were very happy.
Time again to save us from the tap rooms of the street. Right out.
all sitting around in a restaurant preparing for the show the next day, which was another sold-out stadium job, 100,000 people, and the tour was going so well, and we were all really happy about everything. They brought the phone there, and I don't remember who, probably me. Yes, hello. What? No. Bill's decided to turn around. He's not going to Denver. He's going to LA, and he's not going to come back again. And just didn't know what to do. We had to cancel that show.
Well, Bill left on tour because he was having really severe alcohol and drug problems. And this one day he just said, I've got to go home.
I just got real angry, and that was it. I couldn't do any more. It was resentment that took me off the road. It was booze, narcotics, and resentment that took me off the Heaven and Hell tour. You know, I loved Black Sabbath, and still do. I'm very fond memories of that. I need to consider my realities too, outside of drumming in Black Sabbath. My priorities have changed much, you know, since I've gotten clean. You know, at one point I used to crave fame and success, and now I crave peace and quiet.
We were given some tapes, and one of the first that was given was to Tony, and it was Vinny playing in his own band. The band was called Axis, and Tony called me and said, "Boy, you've got to hear this kid. He's great." So we went over to the hotel that Tony was staying at, which is in Los Angeles again, and listened to Vinny and just said, "Yeah, no problem. That's it. That sounds like the person to me."
It was a surprise to me, you know, and that's where I first met Ronnie and everyone else, and from there we just had a couple of days to rehearse, and then the first gig we played together was in Hawaii at Aloha Stadium in front of like 30,000 people. So they asked me to stay, you know, and that led to doing the next album, which was The Mob Rules. And the rest is history.
The end of Black Sabbath, for me, I guess it must have been 1983. At that point, I just think that emotionally, again, from working such a long time and touring for the 3 years or so and recording 2 albums back to back within a 4-year period, it just got a little bit too much for all of us to take. And I think that perhaps maybe our success or our attitude about how important we were was maybe perhaps a little bit wrong. Proves now again that the strength was always in the numbers. The strength was in the fact that we did what we did together.
We brought Ian Gillan into the band for a Born Again album, and that band really was put together on paper. We'd never rehearsed.
And we were mismanaged by Don Arden at the time, so he suggested getting Ian Gillan into the band. Ian Gillan, how the bloody hell is that going to sound like?
I thought, Ian's, he still is. He's a great friend, and I still speak to him a lot. I think he's a real good vocalist. Certainly identifiable, his voice is. But I think within the Sabbath fold, it was really difficult for him to have to come into a band from like Deep Purple to Black Sabbath, because we were both in the 70s rivals.
What a start to a tour. Unbelievable. We had a great time. It was fantastic. I was the worst singer Black Sabbath ever had. It was totally incompatible with any music they'd ever done. I didn't wear leathers. I wasn't of that image. I loved Tony, loved Geezer, and Bev, I guess, was incongruous as well as far as the band was concerned. But by God, we had a good year. I think the fans probably were in a total state of confusion. And the songs, I think, were quite good. Born Again, Zero the Hero, Disturbing the Priest, Digital Bitch, Trashed, a lot of good stuff on there.
I just got totally disillusioned with the whole thing, and I left sometime in 1984 after the Born Again tour. I just had enough of it.
After the
3 or 4 albums that we did, Geese decided to try other things, and then we just carried on. Me and Tone put a thing together, which was supposedly a solo album, which ended up being Seventh Star. And it just went on from there.
Cold is the night, nowhere to go. Cry for the light, for the love that won't come. You said that you'd never leave me alone. I gave you my heart, you cried for my soul. An angel won't come, this devil won't go. Something is wrong, I just can't get away. Living on the streets, I'm no stranger to love. Why can't you see I'm no stranger to love? Living on the streets, I'm no stranger to love. I'm a stranger in your arms. Yes, I'm a stranger in your arms. Maybe it's right, but I just can't understand the hurt I feel from my love secondhand. No, I should leave, but I just can't walk away. Living on the streets, I'm no stranger to love. Why can't you see I'm no stranger to love? Living on the streets, I'm no stranger to love. I'm a stranger in your arms. Oh yes, I'm a stranger in your arms. Living on the streets, I'm no stranger to love. Why can't you see I'm no stranger to love? Living on the streets, I'm no stranger to love.
It was weird doing No Strangers to Love because it was sort of a real different thing to what we've been used to over all the years of Sabbath, you know. But again, it was interesting because it was a bit different. I didn't exactly want to be the front figure in that at all, but it came about that that's who it was. I'd have rather just been one of the band and that's it.
Living on the streets, I'm no stranger to
Eternal Idol followed on from that, trying to Ray Gillan come in to replace Glenn Hughes halfway through the Seven Star tour. He recorded the next album, then left. So we had to get Tony Martin in at the last sort of minute, and he did the vocals on that.
The Shining was a track that was, well, a riff that was floating around for a while from when Keys and myself parted with Ian. We had that riff, we started playing around with it. And I thought it was a good riff and I thought we should use it.
There's a man who sees all there is to see, and what the future holds